All right, good afternoon. It is, I think I'm going to cut myself off there, but it's November 19th, 2021, and we're really just looking at a range day today. We were within the overnight highs and lows. I can't really say that this had a downward bias, even though we had this big leg down in the overnight. Really, there weren't a lot of good setups today. Maybe other people's charts had good setups. Maybe Mack would mark more trades than I did. I feel like Mack would probably have this one marked as red, but I did not. And yeah, I mean, there's this trade. This was at like 4:40, I think. So this is before the regular time we come in. And this one right here, I had this as aggressive until afterward when I noticed that it was a double test combined with a second entry long and the first break of this channel. So tough trading today for sure. Late in the day we had this failure, but yeah, not a lot going on today. So if you packed it up early, that's probably a good thing. So if you came in early, you have this double bottom right here and you get a first entry, second entry short, textbook setup. But if you didn't come in early, we start working up in this yellow channel. And then we form this congestion. And this congestion really set the tone for the rest of the day. You can see all these dojis here. And we get a first entry, second entry. I marked this as aggressive. We had an overshoot. At least the way I drew it, we had an overshoot. So you never know what's going to happen. And the overshoot did lead to a break. And these are all dojis. So I didn't have the guts to take that. I was watching it, but I just didn't have a good feeling about it. But it is a second entry. And then we just keep working lower. And so I didn't have my lows of this range drawn until right here. So we get the break of this downward channel. And we just get some hyper congestion right here, and it looks like we might get a first, second entry, but you don't want to take that. This is way too congestive. And so, unfortunately, maybe you would consider going short here on like a triple top double test, but we don't get a signal bar. And here, I'm pretty sure I took this, and I like this. You can see the EMA starting to point up, and we get this first entry, second entry. The problem is you're going into that triple top, and it's right at the opening price, which is usually, causing some resistance. But I think it's worth marking because there is room to scalp out. There's 6 ticks of space before those highs, so that is enough room, but at this point, I had my range drawn, and we break out, and we make this small double top, and it takes 1 tick higher and gives you a super bearish bar. I think if you're thinking clearly in real time, I think you can go short there. It looks like a textbook trap. If you read Mack's price action manual, that looks like a textbook trap. But it is, I mean, it looks like it might be counter trend at this point. So it's tough. It's a tough call. However, that looks like we got like 2 overshoots at that point. You might actually say it isn't. So it's a tough call right there. But anyway, you get a first entry, second entry, failed breakout. The bias is up. We broke up into this congestion, so I think that's a great entry, and that might actually, I think that might be a blue. I didn't even notice it was a second entry. So first entry, second entry, failed break lower, room back to the EMA. I think that's blue. But then we just form this congestion and failed break lower again. Unfortunately, there's no setup, but we get this higher low. That actually might be blue as well. I think if the signal bar was better, that would be blue. But just not a great signal bar. Then we get this leg up, so draw this measured move, and we get some congestion there, right at the measured move. Anyway, you get a first entry, second entry. Oof, you might consider that too. I didn't see that. I'm actually going to go ahead and mark that blue. But oh wow, is that 4 tick? Oh, that might be a 4 tick failure. So look, I mean, that's why I marked it blue, but this is the middle of a range, and this congestion just happened, and these bars are going back and forth, and that's a doji. So you really got to be careful. Like, this was not a good day to trade. Look, we have this failed break lower, and that gets you a good signal bar. So yeah, I mean, this is you really might go long there. Maybe you did scalp out. Sometimes you only need 4 ticks. Most of the time you need 5. We get this red channel up. First entry, failed second entry right here, but this congestion, these highs have been holding, so I'm not taking that. You get this first, second entry long with a super bullish bar, but you're going into these highs. I don't like that. I like this. We make a new high and you get a bearish bar, and that gets you, I think, a scalp and a scalp only. And so here's what I was thinking right here. This bar responded to the EMA. So if you're thinking about taking a second entry long, wait for a higher low, and that's what you get right here. So your entry, you're not going into the highs, you're just looking for it to match the highs, and that's what happens right there. I like this entry a lot. This is a second entry short. Only problem is this is 3 consecutive higher highs, and we're making higher lows, but that does end up working. You might have had a heart attack right here. But then we bounce off the blue channel, trend channel, and when we get that bounce, unfortunately you don't get a higher low until right here. And so if you want to take that higher low, you might do that. Alright, so here we get a first entry, and this is actually first entry, failed second entry. I, on my practice account, took this, and what I determined, if you look closely, is this closes beneath the EMA. And I have noticed that I don't like those for failures. I like the closes above the EMA. That's all I really got. I mean, that combined with we have been ranging since 5:30 a.m. or 6:30, since the open. So you got to be really careful. And then, so this one, I marked this as blue. It's our first break of the channel. You get a first entry, second entry long. It closes beneath the EMA, but look, we form these highs right here, and then we test those highs. It breaks out. Now it's support, so it forms that support right there, and you get a second test of it right here, and it's a second entry as well. So that gets you a scalp, but then it turns down and it tests that price level again, but this is just, now this is it's even further below the EMA, and it's not a second entry long anymore, so a little more aggressive. But if you're patient, you get a really good setup for a short. I marked this one as aggressive, but it felt really good in real time. It's off that trend channel. This isn't a convincing break. You have a new high here, first entry, failed second entry long. And that is probably the trade of the day if you can hang on to a runner there. And you get an overshoot, it leads to a break. And then we form this downward channel here. Unfortunately, there's nowhere to go long in here. We start to go down, make this new high, first entry, failed second entry long. That's all I really saw for the rest of the day. So That's what I saw. Let's take a look at the trades I took. Too many. Too many. I should have walked away after this first trade. There's a bunch of garbage in here. Second entry short. Nothing to say about this. First entry, second entry. Off the EMA. Good signal bar. What did I do here? I went short. Oh, yeah. I went short. Only reason I shouldn't have been doing this. I was watching my son, and I knew this was all congestive, so I shouldn't have been entering. But it's second entry short, and look at how congested that is. Terrible entry. Only reason I hit my target was because I got in on a limit order. Oh, okay, yeah, and this second entry long. I actually do like this, so I'm okay with that. Second entry long. A little aggressive, but I'm okay with that trade. And then I bought here, and I got out with a tick when I realized, I'm like, what am I doing? Going into the EMA, we don't know what's happening. We just had a break of this channel, so we don't know when it's going to test those highs. So, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. So that's what I did today. Hope everyone has a great day, and I'll be back next week. I'll probably be sporadic because I got family over, and it's Thanksgiving week. I'm off work. My son's going to be home, so just I'll put the videos up, but it might be later in the day. All right, have a good weekend.